welcome back to Smart Martial Arts, the YouTube channel where we go over everything martial arts. In this video, we're going to be going away from karate, and we're going to be going to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is the other of the three martial arts that I do. And in it, I'm going to be talking about it and why I like it over wrestling, because that's the only other ground-based style that I know. I have no idea if there's even more. Didn't do research. I'll probably look it up during the editing of this. Alright, so, as you can tell, I decided to look up grappling martial arts. According to this website, Black Belt Wiki, we have grappling martial arts and martial arts with a significant grappling component. We'll start up here. This is mainly because I had no idea what I was talking about, but I still feel like what you're going to see in the rest of this video is fair. But most of this has either wrestling in like the description, there we go, or it's like a jiu-jitsu type thing, or I've never heard of it, like luta livre, schwingen, and then these two. I'm not even gonna try. I've never heard of those before. Sambo, I didn't know what it was, but I've heard the name. But all this makes sense, I guess. I didn't know sumo was actually a wrestling thing. I thought that was just kind of like a push people out. But obviously I've been wrong before. And then we go down here and we get martial arts with a significant grappling component. And mixed martial arts, I feel like, is kind of a cop-out because that's everything. And then, don't know what this is. Oh, there is a Greek martial art. I didn't know that. So all of this seems to be the exact same thing, just with different names because from different places. So all of these are like mixed martial arts, so what you see in the UFC, but it's either like in Greece, Brazil, Japanese. So they have their own little variations, but for the most part, it's all the exact same thing where you go in and you can do whatever the hell you want. But yeah, just wanted to throw this in there just so I add a little bit of, I don't know, just more shit for people to learn and talk about, because I also didn't know this. But other than that, we'll go right back to the video, back where I cut myself off to. The main reason I like it, and I've also been biased towards Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because I've been doing it for almost 4 years. I think this November will be 4 years anyway. So I'm doing it for 4 years, so all I know are the principles of jiu-jitsu, and I did wrestling. I did it for about an hour, and then I've talked about it with someone who's done it for a long time and managed it for a long time, for like a semester kind of. We kind of talked about it during class instead of doing work, but hey, you know what? I passed high school, so we're good. And the big thing that I always got in jiu-jitsu versus wrestling is they like to go to their stomach when they go down, because in their wrestling match, I think it's called a pin, is when your shoulders touch and then you lose. Or you don't lose, but after a certain amount of time you'll lose. And jiu-jitsu is the opposite. You do not want to go to your stomach because that's when bad shit happens. Instead you want to go on your back, that way they can't take it. And so coming from a jiu-jitsu background to a wrestling background felt a little strange. I don't know the benefits of going to my stomach, because everyone that I know in both jiu-jitsu and not jiu-jitsu is going to go to my back if I'm on my stomach. So I'd rather just not get there and be able to fight forward instead of having to fight behind me, because at that point I can't see what they're doing, my hands can't go back here, and I have to wait for them to do something. But if they're in front of me, obviously I can see them, I can go this way, I can kick this way, I can grab this way, and if we do go down, I can see them and I can still do things and all that kind of stuff. And I can restrict them, and I'm not as restricted. The only time that I really ever heard anything positive coming from wrestling is the person was talking about their dad for, I don't remember if they were in the military, but their dad's inclination or habit to not get on their, or to get off their back saved his life. So that was a great point. However, it kind of also plays along with Jiu-Jitsu because in Jiu-Jitsu, you don't want to be on your back, you want to be on top. There are 3 positions, technically 4. You have mount, guard, side control, and half guard. And you want to be at the top of all of those, which means you are on top of your opponent or whatever it is. The bottom is you're on the bottom of it, so your back is always on the ground. So saying that wrestling gave you the habit of getting off your back is fair, but not enough to be like an end-all to the end of the conversation, because you don't want to be on your back in Jiu-Jitsu either. It's just a better choice than going on your stomach. What I will give wrestling, though, at least compared to my style of Jiu-Jitsu, we don't really go over a lot of takedowns, which is kind of strange because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a mix of Judo and I guess Jiu-Jitsu, I don't know. But it's a mix of Judo, and you throw people until you get to the ground. And we haven't really typically gone over takedowns, even though for the past month or so we have been, which is super refreshing. But wrestling has a lot of takedowns, and then every one of their tournaments, you start upright and you kind of go in, and then you push them down, you go around, you suplex them, whatever you want to do. So depending on your style, takedowns are super key because at that point you are controlling when you go to the ground and where you end up. While in Jiu-Jitsu, or at least the beginning of my style, you don't really go over those. So at that point you're kind of up to their mercy of where you go. And assuming that you're not prepared for the fall of the takedown, you're going to end up wherever the hell you end up. The last thing, this is actually more of me actually doing wrestling versus Jiu-Jitsu, is with the whole don't go on your back thing, I'd say, for my limited knowledge, that if a wrestling person and a Jiu-Jitsu person go against each other, I feel like the Jiu-Jitsu person is going to win. Because the wrestling person is not used to having a person go on their back and being kind of face to face with them. That's just not what they're used to. And the reason I bring this up is because I don't really remember what I did during my one class, but the big thing that I remember was we were doing a leg takedown. I think it was a blast double, who knows. But obviously I was not going on my stomach because before that I was doing Jiu-Jitsu for 2 years, and I was like, never go on your stomach, never go on your stomach. So I went on my back, and I think the other person did it 10 or 15 times, and every single time, out of habit, I got them in a guillotine. So as they would come in, I'd fall down on my back, which also, I don't really know how you're supposed to fall. If they go for a blast double, how you're supposed to fall forward, which I guess is kind of the point if you don't want them to in a wrestling match. That doesn't matter. But every time we went down, I always got him in a headlock, and he got pissed every time. And that's really the only time that I was like, okay, I feel like Jiu-Jitsu in this aspect is better. Now, of course, I am talking out of my ass because I do not have that much experience with wrestling. And if I ever do get more experience in wrestling, maybe I'll do a follow-up to this video, as this is going to be the end of it, as I've run out of things to say. But if you guys do wrestling, or you guys do Jiu-Jitsu, or you do both, or whatever the hell you do, please let me know why I'm right, why I'm wrong. I'd love to hear about it. I want to learn as much as I can, but I thought this was important just because I talk about karate a lot, and I wanted to shed some light on the other styles that I do, and why I choose to do them, other than that's all that's available to me. But other than that, I hope you didn't hate this as too much. I didn't piss you off that much, but if it did, it is what it is. But again, let me know what you think, how I'm right, how I'm wrong in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.